Democratic National Convention now underway in Chicago. The Wisconsin delegation receiving extra attention today from top party leaders.
Focus of the state is as a battleground likely going to continue through November. Wisconsin is seen as a must-win for both Vice President Kamala Harris and her opponent, former President Donald Trump. Chief political reporter Jason Zimmerman continues to follow it all. He's live in Chicago with Your Voice, Your Vote coverage. Jason.
Bill, this is the first day of the convention, and Wisconsin delegates tell me they are excited to be a part of history here on the floor of the United Center. Many met for the first time this morning over breakfast and received a surprise visit from a key member of the Harris campaign. Wisconsin delegates erupting Monday morning as vice presidential nominee and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz came to personally address them to open the DNC in Chicago.
We're going to show America over the next 3 days is what democracy looks like. It's inclusive. It's joyous.
For delegates like Henry Fries, who grew up in Wapaka County, it's an experience he'll never forget.
We just saw the future vice president of the United States of America speak here, and the energy was amazing. We need to take that energy. We need to bring it home. We need to bring it to Wapaka. We need to bring it to everyone in the 8th city.
He wasn't the only big name to take the stage, with Wisconsin delegates also hearing from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who was clear about the stakes in November.
If we win the House, and I know you have a couple of key seats here in Wisconsin, which you're going to win, and if we elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz president and vice president, you ain't seen nothing yet.
On the other side of the aisle, Republican Senator Ron Johnson met with reporters at the Trump Hotel, saying Vice President Harris should be held accountable for the policies of the Biden administration, which have led to inflation and a border crisis.
The minimum the media needs to do is start asking her questions so the American public understands this is what you're going to get if you vote for Vice President Harris for president. And it's not going to be pretty.
On the convention floor tonight, President Joe Biden will be the main speaker. Vice President Kamala Harris will be here as well, watching, and then leave for a rally tomorrow in Milwaukee. Reporting live in Chicago at the DNC, Jason Zimmerman, Action 2 News.